Hey everyone, it's Ryan. Today I have some exciting news. I will be trying out the Canon 50mm lens, which just came in the mail today. Currently I'm filming on my Canon 70D, which has very nice crisp video quality, but I'm still using the standard 18 to 55mm lens, which is pretty generic and pretty basic. So I thought it was time that I get a new lens, and after my good friend Nate Miller told me about the 50mm lens, I was sold on the idea, and the next morning I bought one myself. And it has arrived! I'm a little excited to try it out. Now, I don't know a lot about DSLR cameras. I'm just now experimenting in the world of those devices. So needless to say, I don't know much about lenses and what makes something a good lens, but I do know the 50mm is special in the sense that the depth of field is very precise on the subject. That means that the 50mm lens is particularly good for photography and videography that's done still, like on a tripod as it is right now. Now there is an autofocus feature on the 50mm lens, which is awesome because if my subject escapes that small depth of field, it can readjust accordingly. But when I played around with Nate's 50mm lens, I did realize there was a lot of mechanical sounds going, and as you can imagine, that's not ideal. With that being said, the 50mm lens should be great on any non-moving, non-mobile subject. And we're going to test it out right here, right now, first time ever. Just look at how clean that new lens is, because it won't last for very long. So I'm going to put this guy on my Canon 70D, and what I think will happen is I will look pretty much the same, but the background behind me will be very much blurred out. So it's going to create the illusion that I am this totally in focus and popping out image when honestly nothing about myself has changed, just the background. But I'm gonna take off my current 18 to 55mm lens and put on the new 50mm lens, and we'll see just how big this difference is. In 3, 2, 1. Suddenly I feel a lot closer to you, and I mean that in the most literal kind of way. But I seem to have forgotten to take into account the fact that the 50mm has no zoom function. So this is the default zoom on me. Now I can't shoot a whole vlog like this, you know, you don't want to see just my glorious blue eyes the whole time. But thankfully I have a technical solution how to improve this problem. So, I am now backed up away from my lens, and this is the view. This is the sight. It seems that you can see pretty well behind me. It may be slightly blurred, but really if I want to get the nice blur effect, I need to be closer to the camera. And now you can see that the background is actually dissipating and the focus is now on myself. And I gotta say, that does look much better than the previous lens. And now that I brought myself back closer within this 50mm depth of field, you can see how my face, the subject of the shot, is totally in view, completely crisp, and it just appears that way because the background is totally blurred out. Honestly, this is sweet. I'm not much of a photographer, but I'm excited to try this new lens out, not only for video, but also for photography, and see how I can put to use this shallow depth of field. I mentioned the sounds of the autofocus, which I do hear when I move in and out of focus, but to be honest, it's not that bad. Let me give you a test. I need a new subject besides my face. Dun 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 dun. Oh, if I'm singing, you can't hear the autofocus. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. That's why I was filming the scene. Listen carefully to the sound the camera makes when the stormtrooper comes in and out of focus. Okay, so the sound isn't terrible, but it's definitely there. And if your subject isn't making any kind of noise, like speaking, if there's no background music playing in the video, you can definitely hear the focus. But as long as the video is still and on a tripod and your subject isn't going, whoa, back and forth the whole time, it probably won't be that much trouble. And if there's a little bit of background technical noise, not a big deal either. Hey, this is just my first initial playing around with the 50mm lens. Like I mentioned, this is totally the first time I even used this lens. It just got in mail today. I'm just trying it out. These are my initial impressions, and I gotta say, I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot, and I am really excited to try this out for not only videos, but also photography. I bought this lens on eBay for, I want to say, about $93. It's Canon official, and that's really not a bad deal, especially for a lens that is as useful as the 50mm lens. So right now, initial impressions, I give this lens 2 thumbs up. I'd say buy it if you're big into photography. If you're using DSLR cameras and you want a lens to get this shallow depth of field, it seems well worth it. But I do gotta run because it is currently auto adjust 1:49, and I have a film shoot at 2 p.m. I might be late. You're welcome.